Hey everybody, it's me, Zach, and welcome back to my channel. Hey everybody, it's me. Welcome to me. What is it that Rosie says when she starts off her vlogs? Hey everybody, welcome to me. I don't know, it's really goofy. Good for her for having an intro. Anyways, hi, hello. We're here to follow up on the live stream that Rosie did last night. Specifically, the one that was a follow-up to her community tab post, and it was also the live stream called Check the Community Tab Post Before You Watch This Live. So we're gonna watch it. I will say a couple things. Disclaimer, shout out to my moderator, Jane, who did in fact edit down just the most important clips. So we got about a little under 23 minutes worth of clips to watch. My second preface is that I did catch the very end of it. The very, very end of it. I did in fact catch it because I was on the bus coming home from my pickleball match, because I'm in like pickleball league. I'm so athletic and sporty. But I did catch it while I was on the bus. And at the very end of it, I do know what happens. So if I don't seem overly surprised, that's why. I really should have used some kind of restraint, but you know, that Rosie content is just so good I couldn't help but click on it while I was sitting on the bus. Oh, and that's my dog Poe. Hi, hello. So yeah, really truly, if you didn't watch my video about her community tab post, that, like she says in the name of this live stream, it might be helpful to go watch my video about that community tab post before you watch this. But if you don't, I imagine, my guess is that a good chunk of this is just her explaining what she talked about in the community tab post. So yeah, here we are. I'm gonna shut the fuck up and an alarming 2 minutes into the video, and we're gonna get to, shall we?
Hello, welcome in.
Hi.
Hello. Hi, Remy. Good to see you.
Hi, Remy. Good to see you. Thanks so much for joining the live, Remy.
I'm okay. I'm here. Yeah, I don't quite know what to say or do.
I just have to imagine this was so much more awkward without the pauses cut out. I just have to imagine.
Where I have a community tab post.
Uh-huh.
Where I kind of laid everything out. Essentially, the day before yesterday, someone sent another unpaid order to my house, and I wasn't gonna talk about it or acknowledge it because...
Well, let's do talk about it and acknowledge it since you already have. Another thing that I didn't really catch on to, and maybe she just misspoke when she said DoorDash, but there was a comment in my comment section that was like, unpaid DoorDash. Like, usually when you order DoorDash, you have to pay for it. What I think she really means is that like somebody called some kind of like pizza place, and a lot of times if you get delivery from a pizza place, you don't necessarily have to pay in advance. But anyways, that I thought that was interesting. I also do want to say that I hope she provides more clarity because the timeline wasn't adding up for me, especially once I was editing it back and listening to her tell the story again. I was like, first of all, none of the excuses she gave for stuff that happened, none of the things that she said happened in the community tab post were seemingly correlated with the actual original live stream that she had scheduled. It sounds like these things all happened later in the night, and she allegedly was planning on doing a surprise live stream to make up for the fact that she hadn't gone live. But I don't know. I still understand if she called the cops and they came. If she did, I would like a little bit more understanding of why then Levi was worried about the safety of his mom, but then maybe if there was some kind of intruder. She mentioned an intruder. I don't know if the intruder is different than what happened with the DoorDash delivery order, or if that's a separate event. And again, I'm just saying, like, from how she told the story, it was confusing. All of these things could have very well happened. I just didn't understand after sitting back, listening back to it while editing and being like, this story ain't making no damn sense to me. There was something with a peephole. A peephole in her door. I don't know. It just wasn't really making sense to me.
It's probably, I don't know, the 6th time that's happened now. And I don't know, maybe my number's off, maybe it's 4. I don't know, whatever the number is, it's that number too many, so.
Okay.
Impart my recollection if you must. I've only slept for 2 hours, and I never claimed we were swatted, no. In fact, let's not even discuss that topic. It's honestly so weird that stuff happens to you, not any of the other girls. Well, yeah,
Well, also, I'm not convinced that first of all, it has happened to Chantal before. It's happened to Chantal while she's been lied before. It's been a while. Rosie isn't unique in that situation. Not that makes it okay that it's happened to any of them. I'm just saying, like, her pulling that out to be like, oh, I'm so quirky, I'm so different, and I'm not like the other girls, I'm not treated like the other girls, is, I think she knows, not factual. It's probably happened to Amberlynn at the very least. Not to bring it up, but at the very least, there was Cakegate. Maybe Cakegate. Cakegate still gets people riled up. I really shouldn't keep bringing it up, but now that I look back, I'm just like, that is such a wild, like, look how far we've come and the, like, much bigger fish we have to fry when it comes to Amberlynn. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, in hindsight, God, I'd love to go back to talking about her just throwing some cake away. As opposed to, you know, all of the other allegations and things that she's faced in terms of how she treats the people in her life. But I digress. This isn't a video about Amberlynn. It's about Rosie. How did I even get there? Oh, because she was reading this comment that says that this doesn't happen to the other girls. Also, it may happen to the other girls more often than you think, and they just don't bring it up every 2 seconds like you do. I don't know. That's also a thought.
I almost said his name. The certain person isn't stalking them. Okay.
It's not the same because weird ass Cam isn't stalking them. He is a weirdo. I don't have a problem saying it though. She ain't wrong saying that man is weirdly, because he is.
Okay, a lot of people are asking a lot of questions, and some of these questions I'm not answering for safety reasons. I'm not cooking tonight. I wanted to hop on here and just like chat with you guys for a bit. So positive updates.
It is also wild that she's like, I mean, she could say obviously whatever she wants, but people asking questions and she's like, I'm not answering some questions. Well, what are we doing here then? Because you clearly directed people to that community tab post because you put it as the title, check the community tab post before you watch it. So, did you not assume some people were going to come with some level of questions about this situation?
I was able to go and have a late lunch with Danielle and my mom. And, yeah, my name said, unfortunately, your most evil troll literally does this to see your reaction and see you upset. Yeah, he derives enjoyment from my pain, yeah.
Right, Diva, which means if you would stop giving him the attention, if you would stop bringing it up, there's a chance he might stop doing it. He also might not, but I thoroughly do believe, even if it's not him that's doing it, that whoever is doing it is out there jorking it every time you give them the reaction they want. So now you've given them this long-ass peace and war novel in your community tab, and now you've also dedicated a whole live stream to it. But you're all about not giving them the reaction they want.
Well, kind of like my original Cyberstalker, just different vibes. Yeah, the lunch was really great. I was kind of like this, so I didn't talk a lot, but it was really nice. I loved watching my mom and Danielle talking together because they've not met before.
Oh, wait.
And we went to Texas Roadhouse. Actually, I have my
I was trying to figure out who Danielle was, but I think is Danielle somebody probably told me this in the comments section of my last video when I asked about it, and I might have missed it, so my apologies. But is Danielle the tea shop owner? Because now that I think about it, I think that might be who it is. She has a friend that owns like a tea shop or something. It's how she ended up meeting Corby, the last person she was kind of, I don't even want to say dating. She made out with in a car in her driveway. That's how Rosie met Corby, was through some like Thanksgiving celebration dinner that this owner of the tea shop was hosting.
Just behind me. So I ate about half my food. I always get the country fried steak. Like that's my go-to order there.
Work.
And that was thanks to Amanda, by the way, because she randomly super chatted for that a little bit ago. I don't remember how long ago now. Daniel.
Now see, that's what this is really about. That's what this is really about. An opportunity for her to come on live. Because I will say, if I can't, did I say already what happens at the end? At the end of this stream, she ends up getting another delivery of pizza that she didn't order. And somebody in her chat, I think it was Mountain Bike. I think Mountain Bike's name always sticks out to me because I just think that's such a funny name. And it's always funny to me when I hear Rosie go, "Hey, Mountain Bike." Not that I don't have weird-ass names in my Twitch streams, but that's actually less weird than some of the names in my Twitch streams. But I think Mountain Bike was like, "Hey, I'd love to send you some money." Maybe saying that they said "I'd love to" is hyperbole, but they were like, I would be willing to send you money to get you a Ring camera to protect you or whatever. And so I don't know. Listen, people can spend their money however they want. They are more than welcome to send Rosie all the money in the world if they really want to. But for somebody who doesn't want to come on and talk about this stuff, it's giving like I don't want to talk about it, but I will take your your super chat money.
So if you guys will go back in the vlog history, the fairy vlog is a vlog.
Yeah. And that's Danielle. I'm pretty sure, I was gonna say that she was the fairy vlog lady too, but I think it's the same person.
I'm not high, no. Full disclosure, I only slept 2 hours. I took THC yesterday, and I took an Ativan today, so...
An Ativan?
I'm just, to be blunt, I'm really disassociated, and I've been stuck like this for a while, so... yeah, it is what it is, man. My nervous system is fried. Danielle's a family, or Danielle's my friend. So if you want to meet Danielle in the Fairy Festival vlog, you can meet her. I prescribed Ativan. You looked cute today, hun, like the necklace especially. Thanks, babe.
Oh, thanks, babe. Oh, see how she perks up when Remy's in the chat giving her compliments? Good for her. She's so sad otherwise, and then he comes in the chat and he just sweeps her off of her rolling chair. I was gonna say feet, but she... I don't know.
I mean, full transparency, I am on Ativan. This is an Ativan kind of day. I kind of wanted to come on here and maybe do something like chop up the cabbage or something, but I'm going to be so for real.
All right.
I think I'm going to struggle to be focused and talk and multitask today, so I think today's live might be more of a chit-chat vibe. I need low pressure. I need low stakes.
I know she probably felt really pressured to come back with a public live stream. I also don't. I think the live was already canceled. You, Marcus, well have not come back on live. It does not seem like she wants to be here doing this.
Because I will say, so like...
Also, does she have... Is that like... That bump in her, like, cardigan or whatever she was wearing, is that, like, from hanging on a hanger or something? Why does her one shoulder have a growth? I think it's just, like, the cardigan's formed that way. This is nothing against her. This is probably something that some people would think is nitpicky. And it just caught my eye. I'm like, why does she have a bump on her shoulder?
Comments earlier this morning, technically, like, right before I slept a couple hours. I specifically told someone to fuck off, and that's when I realized I needed to get off the internet and go to bed. So that's what I did.
I thought she said she didn't. Maybe she looked at the comments after she said she didn't look at the comments. But also, yeah, you probably shouldn't have been on the internet anymore anyways. You always have the option to log off. Always.
I put a lot of thought into what I wanted to do because I've been dealing with this shit before yesterday, before the day before that. I've just been dealing with like a lot of being picked at and people just being obnoxious and being overly critical of shit that just doesn't matter.
Okay.
Because
is this still about the people calling DoorDash to your home, or is this just about general feedback that you could choose to take or not take, and if you just didn't read your comments? Like, is this about people being upset that your editing is shit? Or even, you know what, honestly, in most cases, I don't even know if people are upset. I think people are just pointing it out, like, wow, this really took you that long to edit, Diva?
At the end of the day, when it comes to non-member content, there's no fee for it. I'm making it for it to be viewed for free. So I do not understand people's entitlement to my time, people's entitlement to knowing exactly why I have to mitigate different aspects of my schedule and my life to accommodate for the very long list of shit that I deal with that I try to be better.
You don't have to respond to any of those things. I think there probably are some people who are just criticizing you to criticize you. And then there's probably some number of people that are giving you genuine feedback because they want to like and enjoy your content. Again, it's your choice what you do with any of that feedback, right? Like, you don't have to do shit. You don't have to post anything, but you know, if you want to continue growing your audience, sometimes it is important. Listen, there's been a number of times I have ignored feedback from my audience because I stand by what I stand by, but like, that's up to you, Diva. You gotta decide. You gotta make the decision. If you think you're queen of editing and all that effort you put into those Texas vlogs was just amazing and really worth the amount of time it took you to do that, when for all we know you ain't doing nothing else with your life, then good, great, perfect, don't change a thing. Don't change a goddamn thing. Keep it all exactly the same, Diva. It's working out great for you.
About managing without chronically talking about it every 2 seconds, and I still kind of do that anyway because there's just so many different things happening sometimes that it's impossible not to. But I am in a place right now where I'm trying to be better.
At what? By doing what?
People are terrorizing me with my past by being just fucking cruel. It is just cruel. And I'm tired. And I'm not crying to manipulate you.
I didn't say you were.
I'm just tired.
Girl, Diva, there's never been a better time for me to suggest getting that mobility together and getting the fuck out of your house. Honestly, truly, what it seems like is you are trapped within those four walls of that home, and you spend all of your time chronically online, and that's why it's so hard to avoid this. We already know that you go onto Twitter and you see tweets about yourself. We already know that you actively read the subreddits about you, about me, about Amberlynn, about whoever it might be. And we know that you probably are reading the comments because you, time after time after time, despite saying that you're not doing it, you always end up saying that you did it. You just said in a community tab post yesterday, right before you did this live stream, that you hadn't read any of the comments. And then in this video, you're like, well, I read the comments and I told somebody to fuck off and I realized I should probably log off the internet. Yeah, you should probably log off the internet and work on your mobility and then go take a real long walk outside. A real long walk. Smell some fresh air. Like, it is, none of this is a requirement. None of this. And that is genuine advice, whether anybody wants to believe it or not. It's genuine advice. I literally took that advice about a year ago is when I came back from my break from the internet. But I realized I couldn't handle it. I really fucking did. If we're being so fucking honest about where I was in March of 2025, I realized that I was taking every single thing I read in my comment section, in a DM, in my Twitch chat, anywhere on the internet. If I read something about myself, I was taking it too damn personally. I was not fit to be on the internet. And listen, this is my full-time job, and I still took a month off. Now, I know you might not be able to afford that at this point in your life because you already were demonetized for 3 months. But listen, girl, I know you got that money from the Patreon, and I know you got that money from the Twitch. You didn't do a goddamn thing content-wise for it, but you got it. You got that, and you got these memberships. Slow down. She's over here saying, I'm doing everything I can to slow down. I'm doing everything I can to slow down. Simultaneously promising 7 days in a row of content or something like that. You know, it's just like, that's not slowing down at all. You could barely do it when you were only promising the bare minimum of content. And now all of a sudden you're this level of stress and you think 7 days of content is something you can reasonably do? I'm just being honest. This isn't shade to her or anything. She seems unwell. We're all watching the same thing. She seems unwell. It just is what it is. So take a break, diva. In fact, actually, take a break and don't come back. Take a break and don't come back. Get a job somewhere else doing something else, because it doesn't seem like after all of these years, because there was a person in my comments who said, Zach, you're talking about her being on her third strike as if you're not just talking about her third strike since you've been watching. And that's probably true. She's been on the internet for like a decade making different types of content where she has drove people away, where she has done bad things, and she has not been able to handle the criticism and feedback. So maybe it's time to lock it up on the internet. Maybe the internet isn't for you, Rosie. I'm just being honest.
My brother could have gotten hurt yesterday.
Like, none of this is worth that, is it, though? Like, for real. It's not worth it. If that is a legitimate concern you can have about your brother, and yet you continue to do stupid, goofy, silly things to put your brother in that situation. You want to talk about, like, people sometimes think that I sound a little victim blamey when I talk about Rosie in these situations. And really, truly, I'm trying to provide really useful tips for survival on the internet. And I do want to clarify, I don't think any of this behavior is acceptable. But let's look at this situation then specifically, where she's the one that's putting her brother in harm's way by continuing to address these things over and over and over again. And that's not okay for people to do still, but it's like, you're worried about your brother's safety? Then, like, let's do something about it. Let's tighten up this shit. Let's remove the things that are going to put your brother at risk then. She's acting like there ain't nothing she can do, and yet people on the internet find ways around this stuff all the time. Sorry. I feel like I'm not being... I really tried to balance, because you want to talk about some stuff of, like, people giving me feedback and, like, me deciding, you know, what I want to take and not. Like, I do take into account that people feel like I'm exceptionally harsh on Rosie because of my personal experiences with her. And I won't lie, that's my personal experiences with Rosie are always going to, you know, shape and form my opinion about her and her behaviors on the internet. But that's not to say that I can't try to, like, have some level of empathy or understanding for what she's going through. And it's just real frustrating and irritating, because she wants to come into these community tab posts and talk like you know, oh, I've been actively trying to change. I've been doing actionable things to change my behavior. It's like, no, you're not. We just did this. We just did this in December. And everybody at that time told you the same thing. Stop giving it attention. And we're back to it.
Family doesn't blame me. So I don't know why strangers are doing that. I want to heal and grow.
And you're not going to do that crying on the internet.
A lot of changes in how I act. I can't undo what I've done. Literally, in the scheme of life, most of the things that I get ripped apart for are just not even a fraction as close to the shit that like gets done to me for being a parasocial weirdo who does this or that or whatever the fuck I did to deserve this in some of these people's eyes.
I also want to comment on that too, because I don't think I made a good enough point about this, right? So I'll say it now here too. Her bringing in the DMs that she had with me, and now her also referring to quite literally the title of the video I made about the DM she sent me, which was calling her a parasocial weirdo. That has nothing to do. I feel like she wants to link these things to what that crazy ass man and or anybody else who's doing this shit to her is doing, and those things are not related. That man does not like me. He is not doing this because of me, Diva. He doesn't like me because I also called his weirdo ass out, alright? He's not doing this because of me. I've never advocated for anybody doing this because of you. I would love for you to stop inferring that any of this has to do with me. Is it possible that you're in girl world in general because of me? Partially, yeah, I would think so. I think some people were already catching on to your nonsense, and as you've noted, there and other people have noted, there were people following your ass and your nonsense long before I came into the picture, okay? I'm not the Rosie Lynn Reed expert. I am a somewhat recent in the span of Rosie Lynn history. I am a newer connoisseur of your content, okay? I don't claim to be any kind of expert. I don't have nothing to do with that, man. I don't have nothing to do with the people sending you DoorDash orders, pizza orders, whoever, whatever. So please stop. Please stop making it sound like that, okay? You have gone to the lengths to say that the harassment you're getting is different than your average, like, reaction channel, like, nonsense, and you try to say, and you try to clarify that this doesn't have to just do with reaction channels in general, but then you'll sit here and make connections like that to me that make it sound like I got something to do with this. And I just want to be very clear, I think that stuff is weirdly, okay? You can be the worst person in the world, and that's not for some random person on the internet to decide that makes it okay for them to harass you. If you've done things you shouldn't have done in life, then you will face the consequences for those in the ways that matter to the people that you negatively impacted. That's not for some random stranger on the internet to constantly contact you in real life and harass you for, okay? I don't have nothing to do with that, and I just want to be crystal clear about it.
And I have reached the point where I'm just going to be transparent and honest about how I feel. Because these past 6 months,
Have you not already been transparent and honest about how you feel? That's why we know all the fucking details about this.
Slowly rebuilding myself back up and coming to the realization that when I started getting inundated with the hate about being undiagnosed autistic, when that first started, and I realized how sensitive of a topic it was, and I realized how I did not think through making that initial video could be misconstrued when I...
Also, this is a lot to unpack for the purposes of this video, and I've already said a lot. But just to be clear, she is documented on her own channel going to get diagnosed as autistic, and her finding out from the people who evaluated her that she was not autistic. there are certainly a lot of people who, she uses the phrase self-determined autistic, and as far as I know, that's a phrase that's used by a lot of people who have trouble getting access to being evaluated, have trouble like financially getting access to that and things like that. But she's documented on her YouTube channel going to get evaluated for autism and finding out that she was not autistic, and then she decided after that she was undiagnosed self-determined autistic.
I didn't think about how people aren't going to take into account the nuance of like the American healthcare system and aspects of class and all this shit, right? And just people's access to resources and all of that.
But you had access to, this is why I brought it up. You had access to it. You literally did a video on your channel. If you don't believe me, go check out channels like Aren't You Exhausted? I'm sure Nikki T has some receipts about that. There are people who have documented this on the internet in addition to you documenting it yourself.
And I just didn't take into account how sensitive of a subject it would be for me. So that really was going on in 2024 even, like late 2024. And so I started just putting my walls back up. I had been working on unmasking. I had been working on a lot of myself and different aspects doing like mental health work, therapy, and the like. And I never claimed to be diagnosed, but it got to me so on such a deep level that I just started trying to mask again. And
you never claimed to be diagnosed. We know that. We know that because you, in fact, found out that you are not diagnosed. Just so frustrating. So frustrating.
Over time, I was just muting myself more and more and suppressing myself more and more to be more palatable, and I was failing anyway because that was never really the point. That was never really the right answer. So for me, at this point, I brought that up originally for a different reason than struggling to remember, but...
Okay, so I'm looking... I went to Nikki T's channel, and I'll even link this particular video as long as I remember to do it, where Nikki T has... They watched part of the series where she went to go get an autism evaluation. It's no longer available on her channel, but it is in fact something that she did. So I just want you to know it's out there. You can still go and find it. I don't know why she's acting like this.
It's Thursday. It's about 12:15. I'm anxious, like straight up. I'm anxious as shit right now. I've got 3 to 4 hours of testing to do today. I don't know what to expect. I'm here. I got up on time. I fell asleep late though, so I'm kind of tired. As I've talked about my reasons for doing this, I've realized that I haven't been giving enough emphasis to myself. That like I'm doing this for me. I got a lot to figure out, and that's one of the reasons why I'm doing this. And I'm gonna go inside now. God, I feel like I'm gonna throw up. So I was told 12:30, but I guess it's because they wanted me here early because my appointment isn't even until 1. No one told me that. I'm in a waiting room by myself, so this is how I show up to appointments that I'm anxious for. No shame. I wish I wasn't so scared. Hey y'all, honestly, I don't know how much I'm gonna record right now. I don't know if you can see it on my face, but I am mentally, emotionally, and physically exhausted right now. Halfway through the testing, I ended up crying because I had such a bad headache from it. She turned on the lights and that helped a lot. I am just beyond exhausted, and it's really weird because like it was just like stuff like, at one point, the very first thing they did was they had these blocks that had different colored sides. Some of them were half colors, some of them were solid. You had to recreate these patterns on a screen. You had to like certain figures and draw once they were off the screen for 10 seconds. They had me doing like math problems, like word problems, tons of stuff. And the biggest thing that was notable to me in the moment was they were having me read off, like, she would say letters and numbers and I had to repeat them back. And sometimes I had to repeat them as she said them. I had to organize them in order. I had to, like, say them backwards. And I realized very quickly that once you get beyond, like, 2 or 3, when I say that my short-term memory is damaged, I feel like I'm constantly being gaslit that, like, I'm over-exaggerating. It's not that bad, but it's really bad. Like, she was saying things to me and I was completely forgetting what she was saying by the time she was done listing off these things, let alone trying to reorganize any of it. And so that was just, like, eye-opening to me. I've always been really bad at, like, seeing complicated patterns. Like, I'm good up to a certain point. Like, I'm pretty fast at it. So the part that I feel like I want to make sure I communicate, like, from a clear head is I did go see the psychologist for the follow-up, and the psychologist gave me all the results. I'll go over all the detailed results later in the video. But I was very confused. But my psychologist did all the evals, and during our first appointment, I think I even said that she believed that I would probably fall under the term Asperger's. And I've said this a lot in the past, but the term Asperger's is basically considered outdated and not really used anymore because of the history behind the name of the scientist that it was named after, and frankly, the damage that it's done to the research of autism as a whole for decades now, and ironically, directly impacting me. My psychologist basically told me that, oh God, I'm gonna cry, sorry, get over it.
No one said you didn't have to cry.
Basically told me that I'm probably autistic, but
That's not what they said. That's not what they said. That's not what they said.
I'm not autistic enough for a diagnosis, and that she thinks that it's almost too difficult to decipher what is the autism versus the trauma, and that.
So maybe if we did some hard therapy on our trauma, maybe we'll feel better. I don't know, but it's a possibility.
And that I have these symptoms of autism, but that she can't diagnose me with it. And that is just, that's not a yes or a no. And her
yes, it is. Yeah. Yes.
Recommendation, her, like, professional recommendation at the end of the evaluation is that I get retested in 6 months.
Seems fair. Let's address your trauma and see how that impacts the test.
These past 6 months working on reconnecting with myself and allowing myself to feel safe again, and allowing myself to feel, like, emotionally safe, and allowing myself to just stick to the whimsy, have fun, let myself be goofy, let myself be cringe, let myself be happy, let myself be in love, let myself be free from other people's perspectives of me that are just none of my business to begin with.
That last part. Have yourself be free of other people's perspectives of you and just be yourself. What work have we done on that? She likes to say for the past 6 months she's really been working on herself. I'm so curious what she would say that looks like for her. I'm not necessarily saying she's not doing it. I'm just curious because she just likes to say that she's quote unquote done the work, and I don't know that she's ever said much more than that.
To be free from this fucking trauma, to just be rid of myself of these leeches that won't leave me alone. I'm tired. And I have been trying to figure out how to not give it attention, not bring attention to it, but every time I do that.
Yeah, you have not done a good job of not giving it attention. You have done the extreme opposite of that. I also just, like, when it comes to, I do think there's a difference between her getting tough criticism and critique online versus, like, the people who are sending her pizzas, okay? I do think there's a difference between that. And to that extent, like, Rosie really is finding a little bit, like, she fucked around and she's finding out, right? Like she was happy to be a person who gave all of her feelings and opinions about people on the internet for a long time. And now she is once again being subjected to being the subject of people's opinions, and she just doesn't like that.
It's how it keeps escalating until they get what they want. And I don't have the resources I need to do what I need to do right now. So
What resources are those?
this entire situation, it's cruel. Mods, please handle infighting, 24-hour bans. I'm not playing with this shit today.
Mods, just ban them. Ban them. We don't do that here. What's that meme from that lady, the Peloton lady? We don't do that here. Block them.
Fucking act right, 24-hour ban, and come back next time. I'm not playing with that. I just avoid outright blocking. I guess my emotions are high, so. Honestly, I was pretty okay mentally until I found out about what happened with my brother. It's funny because, well, it's not funny now.
What in particular? This is again just like me asking a clarifying question because she's not good at using her words all the time. Are we talking about you were good mentally until you found out about the thing that happened to your brother while you were in Texas? Or are we talking about you were good mentally until the thing that happened the other night that allegedly made you really worried about your brother's well-being?
When I was in Texas, and I shared with you guys that someone called a wellness check here at my house, and my brother was here.
There you go. Listen, this is if you want to be that person that's like Zach, if you would have just waited and didn't pause, you're more than welcome to be that person.
Thankfully, it was without incident and everything was fine. But when I expressed my fear about that, there's stuff about my family, our dynamics, my brother that like I don't talk about online.
Really? Because you talk about so much.
It's going to stay that way. But when I was expressing that concern, I had valid reasons for that. And I was so angry about people saying like, oh, like Levi handled it like a champ. You would have made it so much worse if you were there. Blaming me for it. Saying this is all a big conspiracy for me to make up all this drama to get Remy to stay with me, and like just this crazy nonsensical.
I think those are a lot of nonsensical theories as well. But I do think, just based on Levi trying and attempting to share his own version of the story, that Rosie certainly over dramatized it, in my opinion. And that's why she like interrupted and silenced him. I feel like more and more when I see her interactions with Levi, and really, honestly, truly, it's maybe not even Levi. Now that I've seen like her interact with Remy and her interact with her mom, she's really just like condescending and rude to everybody. So maybe she's not like intentionally doing it towards Levi, but she treats Levi like he is a child that can't take care of himself. And just for the record, like, they call it the autism spectrum for a reason, and there's certainly some people who are diagnosed with autism that are at various places in terms of, like, how they function in the world and things like that. But for all intents and purposes that we know about Levi, he streams on Twitch on a regular basis. He is the only person in this house that has a job, and seemingly, like, is able to care for himself even when she's not there, even when she goes for 2 weeks to spend time with her online internet boyfriend. And so for me, it's frustrating that she wouldn't just let him tell his story. And I think that's where a lot of people have very reasonable concerns or critiques about the ways that she interacts with her brother. And certainly maybe there's more dynamics that we don't see on the internet that she is aware of. But, like, it is, having watched enough now of the way that she interacts with people, she's also just rude. She's just rude to the people around her because she doesn't think about their feelings. Just like it was maybe not a huge deal to care about all the onions in the quiche. It's like you're trying to position yourself as this great, kind, nice person who's making these quiches for your boyfriend, but then you're shitting on him for his onion preferences. And it's like, you want us to think you're such a nice girlfriend for doing this for him, but you can't even adjust your recipe in terms of how many onions you put into your quiche for him. I don't know. I just went on a whole tangent. But she's rude! And she's rude to Levi. And it's annoying. She's condescending. She thinks that he can't exist without her, and obviously he's able to.
I'm grateful he's okay. I'm grateful it didn't happen, but
for sure.
The fact that,
agreed.
We were put in that position.
And I will reaffirm what I said yesterday, which is that, like, people with autism are often, like, treated poorly by police officers and things like that. And so I think that those concerns are 100% legit. Like, there have been enough cases that, like, I think it's reasonable for folks to be worried about that. Again, I'm just saying I don't like the ways that she interacts with her brother.
Because I don't know how to engage with the internet without addressing this, I don't know how to come on there and be like, let me make some pickled cabbage. Like,
just don't do it then.
I want to state that, in case I haven't made it abundantly clear, 20 times over, my public lives are not a guarantee. I do not have a live schedule. I go live if and when I can.
For sure, but you did tell people you would be live. It is interesting to me that earlier she said, like, all the content that I make that is not members only is free, and, like, I do that for you for free. But she does still make money for it, right? Like, I don't think she's put together the fact that there is a concept of, like, even if people aren't paying you with your money, they're paying you with their time. Time, which is a resource even you talk about not having enough of, right? Like people are giving their time to come watch your content. That still matters. She's very money focused, and so she's like, well, these public lives, like, they're not guaranteed, and you can't get mad about it. Well, then I'm not gonna make a plan in my. Well, I never make a plan in my calendar to show up for her live, actually, but, like, it's reasonable then that people don't want to make time to come and show up to it, I don't think she's really thinking that all the way through.
The ill and disabled, I have a multitude of things that can happen at any given notice that can make me need to reschedule or cancel. If I miss members only lives for similar reasons, they will be made up. They may get canceled sometimes. If that pisses you off, I beg you to unsubscribe from me, because I don't want to hear about it. This isn't an airport. Don't announce your departure. I wish you well. Now, regarding all of that, I still have 2 more vlogs coming, so I'll get into the content changes.
Only 2 more?
In case you're not aware of that as well. I am going to continue with what my content has been like the past couple weeks after today. I was already pretty blunt and harsh, so let me try to be a little nicer. I really enjoy hanging out with the people who bring a great vibe to this chat and just like to maybe make food or buy a double or do whatever. And so I don't want to stop, but if you do not understand why I've changed and put in the boundaries that I've had, and you want to hold me to the flames for that, go do that somewhere else. Keep it out of my face.
Well, people are going to go do it elsewhere. They're going to go to reaction channels. They're going to go to Twitter. They'll probably go to subreddits about you, and you'll still go read it. And you'll still go read it, and it won't be enough for you.
Please and thank you. I was going to go live today because this is probably the last time I was going to be able to go live with my mom for a little bit based on the schedule of everything.
And now she's not here.
But I just don't think that's going to happen today. Thank you to everyone who has DM'd me, who has reached out to me privately, just thank you. Just thank you. I just had to say my spiel and be able to talk more focused. I'm hoping in a few days I'll get some sleep, knowing how my symptoms normally play out. So, but you guys have content coming throughout the rest of the week, so I'll keep you posted next week, depending on what's going on.
Okay.
I'm just tired of these people getting away with stuff because I'm keeping it in the dark. And then when I bring it out...
You're not keeping it in the dark, though. What do you mean? And also, like, they're still getting away with it even when you bring it to the light. What kind of argument is this?
To the light, it becomes my fault. Lindsay, I have about 11 vlogs worth of content. If I did it all in 2 separate big vlogs, each vlog would be like 4 or 5 hours. So I'm doing it how I want to do it. And I'm not even just speaking specifically to you, but the way people have been treating me about the editing shit has really been pissing me off.
Oh, you poor thing. You poor thing. The way people have been treating her about her editing. Well, girl, if you wouldn't have put such a big deal on how much time you're allegedly putting into this editing, maybe people wouldn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Who cares if it takes me months? I don't get it. I have to make do with my little limitations. That's really it. Man, it's so funny to me when people were like hyper-analyzing a single touch on the shoulder. It just made me laugh because I have no idea how much I edited out of those vlogs. Each of those vlogs on their own, except for the one coming out next, had about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 minutes of raw footage each. I had to cut.
And the way you could have cut even more. And what you're telling me is you aren't good at editing because there was a lot more that needed cut out of that shit. And the way that she talks about how they filmed so much stuff for just them, that little dance, that little middle school dance y'all were doing, where Remy didn't look like he even wanted to touch you should have kept that for yourself. Yeah. Yes, you should have.
Cut down, do multiple watches on, as well as watch with another person and get their input on it too, because it's not just my content anymore, you know?
Yeah, and you had him watch that, and you couldn't even, neither of you caught that you left his face in there.
Because I don't post shit without people's permission. That's disrespectful as fuck. People crying about onions, are you kidding me, bro? The onions were very divisive. Because apparently I'm a monstrous bitch. For it.
I don't think you're a monstrous bitch. That is not the phrase I would use to describe you in the onion situation. I just don't think I don't think that was really about him. That was just about you. Just like everything's about you, diva. It was so self-centered, and it's just like such a funny example of you being incredibly self-centered, and I think that's why people have latched onto it, because what do you mean you're going on about all this food you're cooking specifically for Remy, and then you're like, well, deal with it. Deal with these onions in here.
Like, the entire time he wanted the onions and we were just joking with each other. Oh man, people are really just truly miserable now. Like, the internet is such a bizarro land. And just, I think one of the things I hate most about all this shit is when this stuff happens, I have to tune back in.
You don't have to
subject myself to the shit I've been avoiding.
You don't have to.
We're still doing the censors because it's what I want, what I'm comfortable with.
You don't have to tune into nothing. This is the problem. You're too tuned in. You are too tuned in. You talk about having all these boundaries. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I'm sure if you didn't want onions, he would have told you a little crazy word. That's exactly what he said. He's so sweet. He played the piano for me last night. It helped.
Okay. Oh gosh. Dr. Rimothy on his way to take care of Rosie with the sweet, soothing sounds of Kingdom Hearts music.
Soothing. I'm gonna try to go live early next week, but I'll keep you posted on if that happens.
Why even suggest a promise of it? Why even suggest a promise of it at this point?
I've just become a more private person.
No, you haven't.
And I'm working on over-explaining less.
No, you aren't.
And I'm working on oversharing less. I'm still going to overshare because, Hi, welcome to me. I'm Rosie. Nice to meet you.
Girl, all your channel is oversharing and over-explaining. Did you see? Did you see the Lord of the Rings trilogy you posted on your community tab? Like, please be so serious. And even with all that over-explaining, it still didn't make no sense.
I'm trying to improve on it. And I'm the kind of person where I cannot expect, like, overnight changes in results. But over time, I can get pretty good because I'm pretty persistent.
Apparently you can't expect over 6-month changes and results. Because you've been working on this for 6 months, allegedly.
And I'm getting what I want. And I want to do and be better. So, in the face of no matter what tries to challenge me, like, that's where I'm at in my life right now. Not who I was when I was acting messy, doing bullshit, being petty, and taking part in toxic internet cultures that I had no business inserting myself in.
Sure.
But me today, that's what I'm doing. So, just a fun little act of self-care.
She's changed and she's different. She doesn't participate in Girl World anymore, even though literally like a month or two ago, people were showing her commenting on a TikTok creator named Gabe's Amberlynn Reid TikTok. But she doesn't engage in toxic internet culture anymore. That's not Rosie.
Tonight, some fake nails. And now when I talk, I can go like this.
We don't need
gesture.
that. We don't.
Like flip my hair with my nails and.
We don't need all that. We
I'm
sure
hot,
don't.
You know, like those are the vibes. Guys, definitely getting hot. Guys, I have another very positive update. I'm very excited. It was actually related to the. I threw on a goal on this live because I happened to throw in a goal on the live prior to this one, so I just did the same one on.
Is she talking about a super chat goal?
Because I had my first swim of the year. In the middle of the night, it was amazing. It was spectacular. It was glorious. It was beautiful.
Are we gonna get lives back in that pool again? Let's go. Let's get some Rosie doing laps in the pool.
It was spectacular. It was whimsical. It was the best time of my life. So I was like, if we hit the goal, my next live will be a pool one.
Let's go.
I want to take a minute to thank everyone who's left such wonderful, supportive comments on the Texas vlogs. I know there was like a lot of focus on the negativity in this vlog for understandable reasons.
Sure.
But I want to take a minute to thank all the people that like acknowledge and see me and Remy for what we actually are, and
just true love. That's what they actually are. Never seen any truer love than Remington Bolt Action Rifle III and Rosie Lynn Reid.
Or weren't salivating for some kind of storyline that involves my heartbreak and drama and toxicity.
I don't want her heart to break. I want to keep seeing the cringe. I want them to move in together. I want full-time Remy side character energy. I need to see more awkward middle school dancing in the kitchen. Like, please, get into more fights about the amount of onion you're putting into your quiche. I live for that shit.
Because that's not the reality that's going to be received.
Why is she...
I've been working very hard to not end up back in the mental hospital. So I can't afford it. Anyway. Needed to grow while they stay stagnant. Clock that motherfucking D. What?
Oh.
No, that's a joke. Please tell me you're joking.
Oh, this is when she gets a delivery again for a pizza she didn't order.
Oh my God, tell me you're joking.
What's that? An order at Domino's.
Alright. I got it, Mom. Oh, is it? Okay. Thank you. That's it? Alright, cool. Payment. Yeah. Anyway, I think it's probably best to hop off for the night.
All right.
I was already struggling to think of.
All right, see ya.
What to talk about anyway.
Actually, I think after this she keeps on talking, so this is not the end. Because this is like right around the part that I actually started watching. I didn't actually see her mom notify her of the dominoes at the door, but I did see her come back and sit back down and then yap again for like 3 more minutes before she actually ends the live stream.
So, Oh, before I go, what I wanted to talk about was the vlogs.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the vlogs for a minute, actually.
Let's do it.
I had so much fun being in the kitchen with Remy, and I miss him so much. He's my best friend, and he is the best thing that's ever happened to me. And
That's so real.
those Texas memories are so happy. And you know, I decided when I was like going through all the stress, all the harassment that happened while in Texas, on top of trying to vlog and everything, I just decided I would roll camera randomly, like pretty often at one point, just because I wanted to make sure I had some content and that memories to look back on and stuff. And there's a lot of that's in my like just for us folder, you know, for the I want to make for us.
Right. That folder where that dance should have stayed, but I'm glad it didn't. I'm glad it didn't.
I had a lot of footage to watch and rewatch, and it didn't take me a month to edit one vlog. It took me a month to edit a total of 6. It took me a long time to get to the point to allow myself to slow down.
Well, however the math is mathing for you, Rosie. Sure. Yeah, sure. Yep.
To allow myself to be slow. To allow myself to be patient. To not force myself to bulldoze and rush through everything.
And yet here she is.
To my detriment. And the way I've been treated recently, even outside of like this most recent development, has been really fucked up and unfair. Especially given the fact of how I've been conducting myself.
And how was that?
I want no part of Go World. I can't control other people's actions, but I really want to make it very clear that having me like saying that I want it, that I want this, that I begged for this, that's really giving a certain kind of energy.
Well, to be clear, she was in my DMs asking, obviously not for the harassment piece, nor am I suggesting anybody should give that to her, but I just showed clips that had screenshots of the receipts in my last video where she said, she was like asking me to sit down and do an interview for my channel, where she said, if I could make content that was worth you reacting to, I would be so happy. And like, to that extent, she is correct that she did want to be in Girl World. She just doesn't like all of the stuff that's come with it.
That I think is revolting and disgusting. I never asked for any of this.
All right, Diva.
Yeah. The haters could never take away the joy I had.
You asked for me at least to give my opinion on your vlogs, and guess what we're doing, baby? Guess what we're doing?
I'm excited for you guys to see the upcoming vlogs. I said multiple times that the first vlogs, some of them are going to be slower paced. I properly set expectations with the intros and the vlogs.
I guess.
And then when I am making what I deem is like, so like because I think my Cook With Us vlog is the best one that's come out so far.
That's crazy.
I love that vlog so much, and I'm very proud of it.
That's crazy. That's so wild.
And I love it so much, and I see all the good and the love in our dynamic and stuff, and there's no amount of hate comments that's going to get in the way of that. There's no amount of hate comments that's going to convince me that we're not absolutely obsessed with each other. And
it seems like the comments kind of do bother you, though, Diva. You have given them a lot of attention.
We are anything other than the real deal.
Okay.
But I'm just making plans for the future, and I'm excited for those. And I will talk to y'all later.
Okay.
Bye.
The sad girl energy. The sad girl energy. Well, there you go. Damn. that's that. I think I said everything I need to say, and honestly, it's also time for me to go stream on twitch.tv/thezacharymike, which, by the way, just as like a PSA, I am working with somebody who's helping me edit some content into some like shorts and stuff, so hopefully none of that like clogs up your feed too much. I'm always hesitant to like advertise the different things that I'm doing because I don't know. I'm afraid I'm gonna annoy people, but I'm probably not. I'd rather you all make sure you can see it if you want to see it. So be on the lookout for that, for those kinds of things. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Anyways, I'm gonna shut up for real now, but thanks so much for watching today. If you're brand new to my channel, consider subscribing down below. Hit the bell button so you get a notification every single time I post a new video. Make sure to leave me a comment, hit like, click share, and follow me on all my social media. I guess I kind of had fun today, and there's some parts of it that weren't fun, but either way, I'll see y'all next time. Bye!